Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the markets in EVE Online. Now we are getting the first information about the Hyperion release. Honestly, I guess the summer vacations are in full swing, both with the players and with CCP, so it's looking like a pretty small release that's focused on the wormholes. So I feel that for the market, it's actually going to be a pretty low impact one. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look. I'll take a seat and we will have a look at the market. Where the hell is my my market tab? There we go. And as always, we will start off with plex. This is the 6-month chart. I'm more interested in a 1-month chart to see what plex have been doing. And we are currently looking at what looks like a price of around 785. If I go for July 20th, after a pretty significant correction, it's been holding on around that 785 price mark. 20-day moving average still has been going down for a few weeks, but yeah, the 5-day moving average is reaching 20-day moving average at around the 785 million mark, and we're currently looking at 785 to 788 even for the seller. So buyers here, look at that, 150 of them at 775. So there's still a lot of demand out there. If I take a look at these numbers, and if I look at yeah, at supply, it looks like it's already like drying up. So I guess the sales might just be over, and this could mean drying up of supply, and thus we might be back in the increased prices for plexus very soon, I think. It is still summer, so activity in EVE Online is generally a little bit lower during the summer, which might mean that that there is a little bit of downward pressure on plex. But I'm decently surprised that the cries sync with the new industry changes does not seem to have had a major impact just yet on plex prices. We'll have to see how the evolution goes. But I must say there is something pretty dangerous. You can already see it on the bar below here. We've got plexus going up, we've got titanium going up, and we've got everything else going back down. And if we look at that from a general psychological point of view, I do think this is pretty dangerous because it might just mean that, yeah, plex are still the item to store your value safely in, and so that might be a lot of upward pressure for the price. We'll have to wait and see, but the fact that the 5-day moving average is already reaching the 20-day moving average again is I think a very dangerous indication of where plex might be, so or might go, I should say. So yeah, it's honestly, it doesn't look good for my 740 million buy orders, but I don't know, I'll be a little bit patient. The summer is not over yet. Let's move on then to minerals. Minerals, here we go, and we will start with titanium. I will write down, let's say 310 for that. And yeah, titanium coming in at around 550, even a very new order here at 549, and the buyers 541. So it's a very small margin. Supply demand, if I look at the numbers here, that looks pretty decently stable over here. And here at the 1-month chart, you can see once it broke 530, titanium has bounced back off. Still 20-day moving average pretty clearly down on the entire month from 620 to 550, and yeah, maybe a bottom at 530. We'll have to wait and see here again if the price can actually keep going up. That's going to depend on supply and demand here. Maybe after the first jitters of the cryos release, demand might just be picking back up a little bit, with people starting to understand how they can actually do manufacturing with cryos in an effective way. This could help the prices of minerals. We'll have to see, I guess, if the other ones are following suit. So let's have a look here at pyrite, also bouncing off the 1040, looking to try and reach 1080 here. Yeah, just below that, 1080 for 1080 to 1090 pretty quickly for pyrite. So that one also seems to be yeah, on a trend break. Basically the 1-month chart here, 20-day moving average from 1160 down to 1040, but here flattening out and showing the first signs of going back up. Pretty interesting. Let's have a look at Mixalon then. Pretty much a similar chart, except that it started like a week earlier. Already back up towards, well, 48 ISK, really? Yeah, 47.40 pretty much for the sellers here on Mexalon. Numbers wise, look at that big order of 42 million, 21 million still coming in here, so a little bit more demand than supply. Might just be that demand is finally picking back up here, and yeah, we're seeing increased prices for the common high-sec minerals at least. Let's have a look at Isogen. It's trying. This one might just be delayed by 1 week. The trend for the entire month from 128 to 116 is a significant downtrend, but over here, just like with Plex, we are seeing the 5-day moving average reaching the 20-day moving average. It's obviously going to flatten out at 116, and we are already back at 118 for the sellers, 116 first buy orders coming in at that price as well. 3 million, 1 million, 3 million, 11 million here for the sellers. 50 million here for the buyers. It's still a little bit more stable, whereas Mexalon, there's obviously more demand than supply, so that might just be why Mexalon already took off 1 week in advance. Pyrite and Titanium have been doing it this week. We might just have to wait a little bit for Isogen, but if Isogen also starts going up in the coming 7 days or 5 to 7 days, I would say it might just be a sign of a real trend for high-sec minerals at least. So let's have a look at Noxium, the in-between mineral. Yeah, that one is still going down. You can see it tried right here together with Mexalon after reaching 810 ISK, tried to bounce back, 610 excuse me, tried to bounce back up, but it's already continuing its correction down. 615 for the sellers, 600 for the buyers. Actually, that feels like it's closing a little bit, so it might just not want to go below 610, and we might just see stable prices at around what we're seeing here. I think it's a possibility. 2.8 million coming in here, 800,000, 800,000, 1.8 million. Pretty decently large buy orders, not huge by any stretch, but definitely bigger than what we're seeing on the sell order side. So yeah, it might just start to stabilize, maybe even go up a little bit if demand does pick up over all classes of minerals. But yeah, I'm a little bit hesitant honestly about the null-sec ones, because we already know from the bar below here that megasite has continued to go down. So let's have a look at Zydrine next. We're looking at 518, 508 for the buyers. That is definitely still on a downtrend. Zydrine coming from normal space and null-sec space. Yeah, no sign of how low that one is gonna go. And let's have a look here at megasite. Pretty much a similar chart. Very interesting honestly how we do see that there is a major difference between those null-sec minerals, those high value minerals, where it seems that maybe null-sec is taking advantage of the lack of wars here to really start to stock up, to get industry going there, and this is lowering the prices for their minerals, whereas high-sec has taken a little bit of a beating on refining efficiency, and so maybe people are trying to move more towards null-sec. The effect of that is of course that the high-sec minerals might be going up as well, although I do think there's a demand side here as well. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff for the minerals. Let's have a look at impact on Tech 1 chips. I think that should be pretty limited, and I'll write down 820 for that. Because, well, it should balance each other out pretty much, the increase in price from high-sec minerals, the decrease in price from null-sec minerals. So it's really going to be supply, demand, and what have people done before Christ that's going to dictate stuff here. 1 month chart for the Drake coming down from 48 million to 45 million, stabilizing a little bit here at the tail end I do think, but 44.9 million for the sellers, 42.8 million for the buyers. Still 22 of them coming in here. General downtrend, I do think this is because of oversupply that was created just before Christ. Let's have a look here at the Maelstrom. On the 1 month chart, well, it reached a low of 176 million, back up to 180, but that does look where it's like that's a price point where it's going to stabilize. As you can see, sell orders 180. Here there's a lot of competition, 17 of them, not insignificant. So over 1 month from 188 to 180, it's down a little bit, and it looks like it's not going to go back up towards more 190 or something like that, which we did see regularly before Christ. So might just yeah, mean that that is indeed the case. Here the Omen, as you can see, it was a short-lived spike here way back down, actually back down towards 9.20. Let's see if there's oversupply. 28.5. Oops, let's go back to a price like that. 5, 28, 11, 86, 70, 21, I would say, and all of these actually pretty recent and pretty close to one another in price. There's definitely oversupply in the omen here, which accounts for the dip. One thing that the viewer pointed out that is very correct. You can see here the huge increase in volume for omens right before the spike. That's indeed a correlation. Someone came in, bought a huge amount of omens to bring out probably to nullsec or something like that. Increase in price response. Next response, because people probably had the omens lying around from before cryos. Huge oversupply, and now we see a pretty big correction in the omen that has been able to maintain a price of around 10.4 million for the entire month here, and now suddenly a pretty big swing up and down, and the trigger was actually someone buying up pretty much all the omens that were available. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff here. Let's have a look at the ROG then. 1 month trend from 200 million down to 190. So yeah, losing 10 million, but around 5% over an entire month. It tried to go back up here, but the 20-day moving average is showing a little bit of a downtrend. And if I look at supply demand, still 3, 12, a lot of 2 and 1s coming in here. A lot of this is pretty recent, pretty much the entire first page here. So I would say, yeah, probably a little bit of oversupply. Talos next here. 72.5 for the sellers. Actually here supply demand feels a little bit better, and we can indeed see Talos going back up. Volume is up as well here in the last few weeks or so. And this is 1 month chart, right? Yeah, in the last few weeks I would say even volume is back up, so the Talos prices are taking off. Yeah, I do think it's dangerous to say that, well, wow, this is a great opportunity for me to bring Taloses to the market if you don't have them ready. If you do have them ready, you can maybe try and take advantage of this, try and be the one that brings the supply at the higher price. But if you still have to manufacture them, I don't think you're gonna be fast enough to take advantage of what's been happening here. You can already see the volume going back down, so it's probably going to be similar to the Omen is what I'm expecting. Honestly, a lot of Taloses coming in, and the price just going even lower than what was the consensus price in the rest of the month, around 72 million. Probably end up closer to 66, maybe 67, something like that. It's my my expectation. Don't take that as gospel. Let's move on to Tech 2 ships. Let's see if there is some trade opportunities here. Let's write down 1240 for that. And here the Absolution, a 6 month chart is what I prefer for these trade opportunities. It's correcting back towards 240. I guess right now the final preparations for the Alliance tournament should have been done, and so maybe this could be why prices are correcting, but honestly it's still way too high to do anything, because you can see on the 6 month chart that closer to 200 million ISK is a price where you can actually pick up some Absolution. So 230 to 246 is just way too high to make any investments there. I started and look at that, pretty awesome, going up to 300 million, and like 3 months ago or something like that you had the chance to pick one up at 220. Current sell orders 303 million, buy orders as high as 286.6 million. Pretty damn high if you think about where you could have bought 3 to 6 months ago. Pretty amazing here. Sell order, obviously, if you want to. If you have a start day, it's probably the time to sell. Claymore here, well, that's really weird here with this data point, how the chart has been moving here, but yeah, pretty interesting spiky behavior. Unfortunately, it's right at the 300 million mark, so extremely high, and you could have picked up claymores closer to 200 million. So yeah, unless you can produce them and sell them, it's really not the time here. Damnation next, also working on a spike. Honestly, all of these command ships, I feel this is related to the Alliance tournament, but I can't be 100% sure. Next up, the EOS, also extremely high. Let's have a look at the Guardian. That could be an interesting one as well. Look at that. These are awesome trade opportunities. 130, spike to 170, back down to 130, double spike back up to 170, and now correcting back. And are we seeing big supply coming in? Look at that, 14.99. People are taking advantage of this, but you could have made a lot of trade money in the last few weeks here on the Guardians, and price 146 to 156, which is right around this price point. So I do think this is going to continue to go down. If this volatility maintains itself, because maybe North Alliances are periodically stocking up on Guardians to prepare for a war, then this could be an awesome opportunity, I think. And you can already see 130 to 170, that's 40 million a ship that you could have made. Not bad at all. Let's have a look here at the Nighthawk, still climbing up. So I do think we are going to see a trend break in this after the Alliance tournament. If not, there must be another reason why all of the command ships are extremely high at the moment. But this is, I think, right now you still have the opportunity to maybe produce a few if you have the BPCs and bring them to the market, or just load off your stocks, because they are extremely high, all of these command ships at the moment. And trade money, look at the Guardian. I think it's got some potential. Next up, take 3 ships here. And we are writing down 15.55 for that. It's going to be interesting. Let's see if their trend has been able to maintain. Maybe the 1 month chart could be a bit more interesting. Looks like it's finally calming down a little bit, but at a much higher consensus price than before, around 155 million for a Legion, 156 for the sellers, 153 for the buyers. So it's right around that. 141 buyers, 143 for a Loki. Correction, no, it actually looks like this is going to be the new consensus price for a Loki, so we're not on the way down just yet. Same here with Proteus, did go down a little bit from 165, which honestly is a price we've not seen in a very long time. Let's go for a 1 year chart here. Not since, even before January, we've not seen Proteus that high, so obviously people did take advantage of that. That was extremely high. All of a sudden, you know, from like 125 to 165, that's really a pretty big jump. So the small correction here back down to 153, I think, is pretty much normal. And then the Tengu here, looks like we have a new higher consensus price for Tech 3 ships, because here the Tengu also 20-day moving average pretty much straight up and holding right now at around 150. Still some competition at 153 for the sellers, 146 for the buyers. So 150 does seem to be the new price. Yeah, you had an awesome opportunity like a month ago or so. You could have picked them up close to 125 and you'd be sitting pretty damn good. I'm really kicking myself for not having taken that because I've been keeping an eye on the Tech 3 market for so long. I saw it happening and I was just too late. Honestly, it took off so quickly and it did take me by surprise, because I would not have expected this move to happen during the summer, when generally things are a little bit slower. But yeah, it definitely happened. Tech 3s have come back in vogue. Let's maybe have a quick look at supply demand here. 96, 14, 12. So 20, 11, 14, 14. Oversupply is here, so maybe volume could be interesting here as well. Let's go for the 1 month chart. And well, actually I'm not seeing anything that out of the ordinary here in volume. 3 month chart, it's not looking like, I mean, a few days here were pretty high, but you had those before here as well. Even at the prices of like 125 to 130. So I don't see it being a huge swoop in. It must really be some people that are deciding it's okay to spend more on Tech 3 ships. It's a little bit weird that we're not seeing this huge spike in volume with these increases in prices here. Let's have a look at the Loki. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more, but you can see similar volumes in the months before that. So it's kind of weird that there is no, well, here of course you are seeing someone came in and bought a huge amount of Legions, but it looks like people are saying, yeah, actually maybe Tech 3 ships for investments, why not? They could be worth a little bit more than what they were at bottom prices. Interesting situation here. And then now for my my extra material, one I got from Reddit. Let's write down 1925 for that. It's going to be the Mobile Large Warp Disruptor. So Mobile Large Warp Disruptor, like that. And look at that. That's pretty amazing. So what happened? The BPC's got new material requirements. I guess it's from the test server, and it was like extremely expensive all of a sudden. And so yeah, mobile large warp disruptors jumping up from 15 million ISK. Current price is 56 million ISK. So almost 4 times the price. All of a sudden. This is why it's very important to keep an eye. If you're an active trader, keep an eye on all the news. You should check out CC as well, because opportunities like that, they don't come very often. But right here, quadrupling of your ISK if you had invested in mobile large warp disruptor, or if you had big stacks here from producing them before this. These are the big opportunities, the big swings that can happen on any news, any rumors, anything that gets deployed on the test server. And this is a textbook example. Just look at how stable everything was before that. This 3-month chart. This is a 6-month chart, just a straight stable 10 to 15 million. And now we get this spike up to 55 million all of a sudden. That's yeah, amazing for the people that have been producing mobile large warp disruptors, I must say. Yeah, just a textbook example of something happening on tests in EVE, news related, and the market responding in a big way, people making huge wads of money from that. Anyways, that's it for this EVE talk then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.